Yo, 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 this your boy Big Los and my super dope co-host Alexis B, and we are Hotspot Radio keeping you connected. Yes, we are in the building with the sensational music artist. I'm not gonna call him an artist, I'm gonna call him a musician because he does it for real, for real. Enin Perryman, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm stoked and elated to be with Big Love and Anthony and Alexis B. Are y'all crazy? Like I've been waiting for this forever. And y'all in my hometown.
Yeah,
Shout
My
town,
Chi-town,
yes, sir.
birthplace, Chicago, the side.
Chi-town,
I'm telling you,
Chi-town.
it's so good. It's so good to be to be back with some home folks. For
Man,
you
Absolutely.
know, yeah,
it's dope.
We,
man.
we
So,
definitely are excited to have you. It's definitely our pleasure having you on the show today, and I'm excited about it. I'm
Man, me
excited
too,
about
Alexis.
so
Alexis B.
man,
Y'all better wake up out there. Y'all,
so
y'all a
wake
real
up,
deal
huh?
today.
it. Wake up, y'all. Wake up.
Yes, what's up, man? Man, it's good to be here and with um what we're going to talk about today with this new look, this new album, this new energy coming out the pandemic, in the middle of the pandemic, trying to get rid of the pandemic, but having something to offer the
Man,
public, right? While we all going through.
So man, we're
absolutely.
gonna jump into it. My first question. My
Hoorah.
first question.
Uh-huh.
How did you weather the storm from back in the day when we were selling CDs and
Oh.
out the trunk or just music sales in general to converting over into streaming and how the game has changed? How do you transition from that?
That is that is a wonderful question, and I got to take you back a little bit because I'm a little old school and new school kind of thing. When I first started in this business, I was in the U.S. Army. I was in the military. Hoorah!
Mm.
So
Thank you for
I
your
am
service.
hoorah! And all those veterans out there, listen. You can do anything that you put your mind to. It. I came in there when it was the army of one kind of
Right.
thing, and so that kind of opened the foreground for this question. I literally got my first record deal in the military in Germany, in Frankfurt, Germany, and that's back. And I'm gonna throw some names out there for. I'm finna date myself for real. CNC Music Factory, Millie
Ooh,
Vanilli, Travillis and Cole, all those Snap, the group Snap, and all of these CC Pedestin, Chicago, all of these people that were doing what we call house from Chicago in Naptown, but then translated in Europe as techno. It was their version, but it really was just house music that they had taken to a different vein. And I got signed. Uh, Actually doing an audition for the group called Snap. They were trying to do something different, and I went with a friend of mine, vocalist in Paris Red, and we both was trying to audition, and they didn't like either one of us. But then when I
Oh,
auditioned, it was like, wait, not for this group though. And I got signed at 360 right on the spot when they were doing that, right?
mm.
So getting back to your question, which is so intricate in this whole scenario, is we had CDs and everything back then, so everything was done way differently then. And when this transition happened, like years and years later, I did a couple of records and wrote some really big tunes, and came back stateside, and just everything had changed. You know what I mean? But actually, it changed for the better, because back in the day you had the bootleggers, and what I'm saying, you had
Oh yeah.
barcodes and
Oh
stuff, so
mm-hmm.
you didn't get all your revenue as an artist, as a recording artist. You didn't get everything. You had to audit that record label often so that you can get, what I'm saying, the truth of you still have to do it today if you're on a major,
well,
but
I'm
I'm
about
saying,
to say.
you still have to do it. But you really had to do it back then, because they didn't even know the revenues that were out there, because you got about a bunch of pirates and a bunch of bootleggers that were making money on the side. Everybody was hustling with tapes and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
of course, remember, you could always do the ghetto way, what I'm saying, record it, and then I'm finna make you a tape. So
Hey,
artists we was missing revenue big time,
I'm
but
guilty of
what,
that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
but that's kind of why now you can actually, you see the guys with, you know, the rappers with all the money or whatever, because they're getting it real time. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's digital and the algorithms tell you where to market at and da, da, da. And so when you actually put the records out, you know, you're almost, you know, when it pays out, BMI and all the rest of them, sequencing and all the other people that track that, give you your revenue on time versus you having to wait 6 months, you know, and we were starving, waiting on the check. If you got a check,
I'm about to say, if you, I was just going to say, if you ain't do wild for your check.
Right, exactly. Which a lot of people don't understand the value of like the touring, because that's how really artists was making their revenue. You know, once you were branded, that it was just your name was out there, but and you use that along with anything that you were in the hole for on tour to pay back. You know, and then anything you had, you know, if you did it wisely, you actually had a decent paycheck to take home, you know, after you toured 30 cities, just saying. You know what I'm saying?
Nice bag.
Yeah, but you know, everybody sees the glimmer and glamour of it, but they don't see the real work of what happens to artists when we're actually forming, you know, this art. Once that's done, it's 10% art, talent, all of that, because everybody think they're greatest, right? So, and the rest is business and marketing. You know, that's why I call the music industry.
The music industry. So learn the music business. That's
yes.
You know, I told somebody the other day, like, we're the most disrespected industry almost in the world, because we are expected to give, but like nurses and doctors have to go to school to do what they do, and we wake up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna start." You know what I'm saying? And we don't invest, some of us. Now, some people do, you know what I'm saying? There's Berkeley College of Music, Full Sail, and all these other colleges that their specificity is the music industry and teaching it to people so that they can, you know, take it and then, you know, hopefully take it to the next level, which is, you know, what we're seeing today. A lot of artists are getting in the know, and there's not a knowledge span out there, but you just have to listen for it and get in the know so that you don't make some of the, you know, the mistakes that you can make in this industry. Where there's a lot of money, there's a lot of sharks, and so you have to have the knowledge to know how to navigate the water. You know.
Yeah, I know that. I know that game.
Young folks listening.
That's free game right there. Free game.
Yeah. Nuggets. Because you know what? Wisdom, like the Bible says it was lying in the street in Proverbs. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom is that thing, you know what I'm saying, that you can't just read in a book. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to have them hard knocks in order to get, you know, what you
absolutely. Absolutely. For sure, for sure. So I got a question.
Yes.
So Enin Perryman, that's your real name, right?
That is my surname. Thank goodness. That's a long story, because I couldn't use my name for the longest.
Oh, so that was my question. Like, how important was it to have your real name at the forefront as opposed to a stage name?
Okay. Very, because of branding and marketing, and one, because I lost my father last year in Chicago to COVID. Because that was before that, you know, we even knew what it was, and he was one of the early succumbers to it. And my daddy was everything to me, because he was a blues musician, a fantastic Elroy, right? And I remember my first record that I did, I brought home, and he couldn't see nothing but the Perryman on the record. And I was like, you know what? Away with these stage names, you know. And now going forward with pandemic, past, present, and future, it's like when my father passed, it's like he passed on something to me. When I woke up, I was a different writer. It just, you know, music just came. Case in point, we got 4 albums back to back doing from 2020, from 2019, 2020, 2022. Now skipping 21, but 22. Yeah, 4 albums back to back, and a Christmas album, and the sound
really nice.
Totally different. Yeah. So, you know, they say we absorb the energy from the ancestors, you know, and I personally really feel that my dad is with me, you know, when I do music now, you know what I'm saying? It's a different mood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Yeah, so the Perryman, back to your question, it's very important to me because of that aspect personally, and just in marketing in general to have something congruent. I chose not to do a stage name because I remember the greats like Luther Vandross, Freddie Jackson, when they put their mark on it. And I keep telling people, when we're in a pandemic, but every once in a while, if you really look about what happens with music, somebody breaks out with something different. Like right now, like a lot of stuff, because of auto tunes and whatnot, everything sounds alike. So every time you get to a reformation in music, you get your James Browns, Michael Jacksons. Did you remember Michael Jackson came out when TV was battling with whether to put minorities on the air versus black music about it at that time, where we're gonna put it on or what we're gonna do with it. And when Michael came along, it was epiphany. And even though he had been with the Jackson 5, but he knew that every time there's something catastrophic happen, it's time for something new, and whoever breaks out wins. And hopefully in this pandemic, I think people are calling for real music to come back to the forefront, and whoever brings that back. I mean, I'm live. Teddy Pendergrass, when the audio went out, Teddy was like, "Close the door."
Yeah, I love it.
Hey,
he left his mark on music. Like, check, here I am. But yeah.
speaking of the pandemic, right? You have an album.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Pandemic, past, present, future.
And future.
So I love it, by the way.
Oh man.
You got some love making hits on there. I'm just trying to let you know that I'm trying to,
yeah.
You got some songs on there you can play.
I was a little
woman in
worried
the
about
mood.
that too, but okay.
You know what I'm saying? But elaborate on the album, man. Tell the people what you got coming up,
man,
and what's going on with you,
man. Y'all ain't ready. I'm telling
you.
Oh
man.
Oh, we're ready. We're ready.
Pandemic, past, present, and future. It's actually the sequel album from Love, Life, and Spirituality we put out as a soundtrack for the documentary film that we have on YouTube now. It's an hour to just, instead of doing videos, we like, how can we tell people about, the whole, who I am as an artist, where I've been, and what we're doing now. So that was the start of it. And I mentioned before off air, kind of sort of my background coming from gospel to R&B to soul, all of those things. My dad was a blues musician and my mom was a gospel singer.
Oh, wow.
Go figure.
Right.
My grandmother said, you know what? God and the devil, you're going to be somewhere in the middle, child. And here I am. Bringing it all back in a wholesome way. Pandemic, the album itself deals with what we went through or what we're going through, and especially when the pandemic hit us. A lot of people found themselves trying to figure out, I'm stuck in with my husband, and he had a job, I had a job, we had the kids, everybody was doing their thing, and now who is this person I'm married to? I get really deep because let me pull you back. That's what R&B really is about. You know what I'm saying? When the songwriters back in the day was writing, they brought it. You know what I'm saying? And Barry Gordy's theory was like, if a person didn't have money and they only had $1 in their pocket, would they buy this record or would they spend that $1? And my bet is when you're going through hard times, close the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey. Tomorrow take care of itself, but right now,
right now,
positive and uplifting. And that's what we're doing with Pandemic, Past, Present, and Future. We're in the pandemic. 20 Rock is the lead song off there. It's doing really well now. We're almost 500,000 streams on Spotify, not to mention the other platforms, with no promotion behind it. Just gave it to
congratulations.
Man,
congratulations.
Halfway there and hold it, right?
Most definitely. Let me ask you, what made you choose 20 Rock for the single?
Here it is.
For the first single.
And everything has a story, right?
Yeah.
We're in the studio, and my producer, big ups to Chevalier Tom Coleman, down in Valdosta, Georgia.
All right.
He was my first producer before I left Europe. I was in the military, and I was working with Tom. He was going to Berklee College of Music, and he was a freshman at that time. And I didn't even know what a producer was. Like, I was, what I'm saying? I was singing in a small choir in the military, and She was like, the girl was like, you need to get a producer because you can sing. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but okay, I'll find one. End up meeting him. We got together on my first gospel record, which is called Pray, and took that over to Europe as a demo. And he basically single-handedly started my career. And here we are in the middle of a pandemic. He's in Georgia. I moved to Atlanta. He comes on Facebook and say, "Where are you?" I was like, "Down the road." And here we go on this embarkation of this musical journey together. And I think, when God puts stuff together, it's for a reason. And we feel both indebted to bring music back to the forefront. And so the last single on the album, he had already written it. Just listening to me produce the songs like "Don't Leave"
that's
and
dope.
all of it. And he said,
That's
"Bro,
dope.
you got to do one more thing." And I was like, "What? We done? The album is done."
Right.
He said, "Nope. You got to have a banger that sums it all up. Pandemic, past, present, and future." And Trini Rock says, "You've been down too long. Baby, if you made it through the pandemic, you have purpose. You can go on and fight another day." And that's what it's about. Grab a drink and get in. Whatever you got to do, put a mask
Do
on,
what you got to do. Have a good time and take care of your business.
take care of your business, man.
Yes.
Keep trucking because you made it this far.
Yes.
That's the whole crux,
And
go ahead.
20 Rock puts me in the mindset of it needs to be a line dance to that.
It is
just
right. I left it open
I'm just
because
saying.
I wanted people to do, I didn't want to do the R. Kelly thing and, y'all,
Don't be doing the R. Kelly thing. No.
Yeah, no. Let me rephrase that. Ironically, I was with one of his background singers in Europe when he came for his Bump and Grind tour, which is really different, right? But anyway, that's another scandal, but another day.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
But no, he ran a tight ship. I don't know how any of that happened. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my paycheck and I was in the room. You know what I'm saying? And next city, I'm like, how did he have time? But okay. I digress. Conversation for the next time in Chicago. But just to say that with 20 Rock, man, it is a tune that definitely needs a line dance, but we left it open ended so everybody can get their own groove with it, sort of like the Frankie Beverly and Maze tune that everybody plays at barbecues. Since everybody's saying that, oh man, I got to play that at the family reunion this year, at the barbecue or whatever, we just left it open so that you can, because remember the pandemic affected everybody differently.
Yes.
And everybody had to find their own energy, you know what I'm saying, to get through this thing. So that's why 20 Rock has an open-ended dance. Whatever your thing, get drink, get in, whatever all the big girls I said, because everybody put on COVID weight. Just saying.
True.
True
story.
It's okay though. It's okay to be okay with yourself, is what I'm saying in the song.
Yeah.
However you made it, so you deserve to have a little COVID weight. You got stuck in the house for a year. Right? Exactly. You're alive.
You're alive.
So pull it up, move it up, get on the dance floor. You can lose it. Create your own dance from it and celebrate yourself. It's really what that's about. You rock. Let's get it.
Well, somebody gonna make a line dance, and I'm gonna learn it. I'm not gonna make it up, but I'll learn it. You gonna learn it? Okay. I will definitely learn it.
Hey, that sounds like a TikTok thing to me.
Yeah,
true.
Challenge the 20 Rock Fever.
True.
They already talking about shirts with the 20 Rock Fever. You've been down too long. Get your own dance and put it in there. Let us know what you think about it.
On the real. Man, so I got a question, man. So, do you prefer this outside of the album, right quick?
Okay.
Do you prefer singing in that church choir or live on stage? If you had to pick one, which one would you go?
That's hard. Because
I knew that'd get you. I was like, yeah,
that's a good one.
Going back to the days when I was the choir director.
Man.
And I did mention I was Al Green sound director in Memphis, Tennessee. Big up to Full Gospel, my home church. They all know Mr. Perryman at that time, and we was rocking in that church as well. But because to me, spiritual music is close to my heart and my spirit, and I don't mix and mingle them too much with secular, because that's, to me, the secular part is for us as human beings. Weddings, dances, whatever purpose. Music is for every different thing. Even if you go and explore in the Bible, there was music that were for certain things. Like, Jesus at the wedding, he wasn't saying worship. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Bishop Rance Allen said, he said, a party without a sight. That is Bishop saying it.
Come on now.
Just saying.
Absolutely.
There's a time and a place for everything. Because little nugget, I'm sure he don't mind me telling you that. Because Love and Happiness was a gospel song. Y'all know that? Something wrong early in the morning. You had to go back and listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, you could have made me really listen to them lyrics again.
That song is about repentance. Nobody got it, but he was like, that's a big hit. But you know what I'm saying? Had to do it somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, now that you think about it, something make you do it. Okay. All right. That
writing
something make me do the wrong part. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
And
we listening to that.
We all don't do wrong. So it's like, I'm saying, he's just drawing the picture from, from the humanistic standpoint and saying, I'm saying, early in the morning, I'm giving it up because this is what happened. And in a sense, that's what repentance is admitting that you do something and then say, God, I need help. You know what I'm saying? I got 36 baby mamas, so help. Help me. But only R&B can do
my
that.
Pearls. Ooh.
Clip some. Here's some more. Look. But only R&B can speak to that, though, in different prolific ways. So to answer your question, live is, y'all ain't seen me live.
So live is
I've seen some of the videos. Like,
right,
but
we ain't. I want to see it live.
I forgot. See, that goes back to that digital question. See, I forgot we in the age where you can't cut up, and people don't know about it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it doesn't do it justice in person, but even watching it.
Yeah, every show's different, and I take the perspective that Prince had. The energy has to be fresh, and every audience gives you different energy. And when I'm live, like I was literally born on stage. I was in Chicago, Illinois, and my daddy was taking me at 5 years old to his band rehearsals at clubs. So I literally was born on stage. And they was like, Leroy, what's wrong with that baby? That baby ain't crying. You've been here rehearsing 3 hours. Like,
yeah.
And I literally was like, baby got soul. You know what I'm saying? That I literally loved music from the time I opened my mouth in Chicago, Illinois, driving down the street, and I was singing Natalie Cole's song on pitch, and my mom said, "What is that? The radio?" She turned around, and my brother was like, "Yeah, it's the radio." He just singing.
So you knew music was it from the get-go.
From the get-go. Funny story. I got hit by a car in Chicago, right? We were, I wrote a gospel song about it, actually, called Thank You, Jesus. And we were, how kids play, in the summertime, we playing back and forth or whatever, and they got the hydrant and everything turned up, and we just having a good time. And my mother said, y'all stay on this side of the road, don't go on that side. And it separated us and the friends from, so we gonna throw the ball back and forth, boom, boom. And my brother was like, you stay here, don't come. I was like, well, I gotta stay here, hard-headed. So, ball came out, I ran out to get the ball, bam, got hit by a car. Went into a coma from the concussion. And my grandmother came. I came out of the coma, and my grandmother came, and she was like, "We're here to pick up the baby." And she was like, "The singing baby." This is what they were telling me. I was like, "She's like, he don't sing. What you mean?" And she said, "From the day you got hit by that car, you've been singing ever since." So there you have it.
That is quite a story.
Chicago sparked the. Mess around with Chicago, man. Chicago gets some greatness to come out.
Yes, they do.
Out of Chicago.
Yeah, it is. A
lot of talent.
So I got a question that's kind of away from the album too, but how important is it to give back to the community?
the classic Alexis B question. It is very important, which is why the record label that I'm with now, and now CEO of my own label here in Atlanta. Our whole mantra is set up to give back not only to the community with youth programs to teach, because they've taken, cut the whole musical budget. Like I was a band geek, what I'm saying, choir, you name it, I mean, from that was just what I did, and those entities taught me coordination. It taught me how to camaraderie, how to get along with folk, how to lead folks. All of that energy came from music programs, and even with learning to read music, it helped with the other areas like math and science and other areas of academia. And I think educators don't put that all together so that they know the importance of music itself and how it can affect a child, and it's in their early childhood development. And I can speak from that because I'm ex-teacher as well. So,
oh, you're a jack of all trades. You got it all going. Okay.
I got a book coming out called Bigger Than Me, and we're hopefully going to the next album will be the soundtrack, and we're going to try to do it like with Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with it, because it's a typical book. So I can bring you into these 50 years of rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, I want to go back to the album.
Yes.
Okay, with 20 Rock being a single, what do you think will be the next single? The first single, what do you think will be the next single?
We have a single called wow, I love all of them equally like children, but the management, we're talking about doing a major video for Freedom Song. And Freedom
Song
is about police brutality, and where we are now in the state of America. And it really, the end of it is bringing us all back to one. Like, we can't have a nation divided. And so how what writing says, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And there's with all the hatred and the systemic racism that we know exists in the country in itself, unless we heal as a people, as a nation, we can't move forward. And Freedom Song is the ending part of what Dr. Martin Luther King's dream was. I may not get there with you, but where? To freedom. And the freedom is absolute. It's no halfway there. You can't politicians with the voting rights thing. You can't disenfranchise people and then say it's equal. We
exactly.
gotta be.
Well, according to some politicians, we just African Americans, not Americans.
Just here.
Right. Right. There's Americans and then there's us, I guess. I don't know.
Absolutely. We just, but
not
enough blood to be African.
So I know where your heart is. Don't hide it. Let me know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, get out and vote, people.
Please. And midterms too. All of them.
Yes.
Right. Because we need judges of everything.
Yes.
Oh, man.
On every level. Get out there.
They're gonna get though. Please don't be apathetic. We've been apathetic too long. And here's the thing, I keep wondering, where did woke become a bad thing? Like, who wants to be asleep? I mean, come on now. Why y'all always turn things that we bring that are Afrocentric associated and make it and villainize it as some evil, kind of thing. Yeah, wake your eyes up.
That's because some people don't understand it. And they're not trying to understand it.
I'm about to say, they don't care to understand.
They're not trying. Come on, y'all. Y'all need to stop it. Freedom Song. And not only for Black folk, it's for white folk. Free your mind, free yourself. Anything that you think is bigoted, in any manner, whether it's against LGBTQ, with whoever, what I'm saying? God created us all under one umbrella. Everybody bleeds red.
Yes.
And you don't answer whose blood is this when I'm out there trying to get a transfusion.
Game over.
Save my life. Take me, whatever.
Right.
Game is over. Right. Game is over because I want to live. And we all deserve the right to live. Equally. In a country that prides itself off of freedom. We can't be hypocrites anymore. We don't have to do it.
I agree. I agree. So you
Okay, that's my
mentioned
little.
That
that
should be a. Oh, well, go ahead, Lex.
Good.
you mentioned that you own your own label. How did you come to that? Like, how did you come to be your own CEO of your own label, and what are some of the pros and cons of that?
Ooh, okay. There's a story. You know, there's a story. I'm writing a
No,
book.
I
There's a
love
story.
stories.
Yeah.
No.
So here we go. I am the director, interim director of the VA Medical Center in Memphis, Tennessee, because it's alluring. Da, da, da. So here I am, make $107,000 a year. You know, bam, bam, bam. And
Mhm.
God said, "You gonna fulfill your dream, or you gonna stay here?"
Mm.
And I was like, God, I'm losing my hair. I'm murmuring and complaining. I say, well, I'm going if you say go, And I woke up one day and he says, move. And I was like, okay, move. I said, so is this you really talking? Give me a sign. So I go outside on the balcony and I'm perched. And birds, not today, they real fickle unless you got some food in your hand. Them pigeons in New York is fierce.
Yeah.
Don't feed the birds. Jack Cave was trying to feed it. Don't feed the birds.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
I'm perched on the thing and red bird comes and sits on the perch.
Mm.
And I look at him, he looks at me. I look at him, he looks at me. I said, God, if this your sign, let me know. Bird flies away. I said, okay, let's pack.
Mm.
So I quit, put in my resignation. They were like, you leave your good government job? Yes, sir. Because
Yeah.
if God says go, I'm going. And
Oh,
certain things you have to do by faith. You know what I'm saying? Now people leaving their jobs. Corona had to hit.
Hmm.
Just saying, for them to wake up and realize you can be an entrepreneur. Why are you spending all of this energy making somebody else rich? As African Americans, what do we own? We need to start owning our own stuff, our own. Get your master. Start,
That part.
own your own stuff.
That part.
But-
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
so,
I'm listening.
so, so that was my whole mantra. I left on a whim of faith.
Mm.
Got hooked up in this crazy, crazy, crazy way. I was on LinkedIn. They kicked me off. I'm not on LinkedIn anymore. Just saying. But I was on LinkedIn and I was looking for management. And I was like, going to the thing, and I was like, wow. I was making this transition to, God, do I do gospel or do I do R&B? And he was like, do what I put in your spirit to do. I gave you the gift. Why would I take it away from you? And I
Mhm.
was no more questions. You know what I'm saying?
right.
God says go, go. So I went and then looking for management. I started putting all the elements together, and I was like, I need a good team, and end up through haphazardly this and that one, and end up meeting Mary J. Blige's producer here in Atlanta, Christopher Starr, and big ups to him.
Mm.
He, instead of going to the office, he was like, you know what? Come to my house. We need to talk. Because he had vetted me and he had listened to all the stuff that I had. He said, you're coming back in. What do you want a 360 or do you or do you want a partnership agreement? I said, let's do the partnership thing, whatever, and go
Mhm.
from there. He was like, with your expertise, I think that's probably the best way for you to go. Bam. Instantly met the same day my management group now. Big ups to Elizabeth Johansson from CE, Chicago
Oh,
Executive.
Liz.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She came in and put the pieces together, and put the plan together, and it was just such a chemistry. And she was like, you know what, I'm opening this label in Chicago, and it'd be cool if you could do a sub label in Atlanta.
Mm.
So I was like, perfect. She was like, because that way you can use your expertise to groom new up and coming artists that are coming in as well. So they're getting the
Right.
experience, and they can put it together as we put it together. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it worked, and we just been like, man, we just been hitting the ground running. And 2022 is just the year. It's just the year, because we're bringing something new. My mantra for my company, Enin Music Group, LLC, is called "Go Hard or Go Home." So
Mhm.
I have no time to waste. If you're not coming in offering, whether you're hip hop, whether you're jazz, whether you're R&B, whether you're gospel, you bring your A game, And I want to use the Berry Gordy model, where everybody is a success, and it's like a happy family, but we're learning together, and we're gonna tailor this thing where it's family friendly, and we're giving something to the genres, whether it's hip hop, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Um, you got to work as hard as I'm working. You know, I'm the leader, and here you are. If your product is not where we are right now, then go back to drawing board, get it together, and be halfway there. So we vet artists very carefully, and you know, if they got that thrive, we behind them 100%, and that's, you know, that's on everything that we do. And I want to keep that mantra as we go all the way through, leading it. I keep telling them that since everybody's on the plane, then everybody will be successful when we land there, because everybody get there at the same time. I had to leave. Gotta have a pilot though. Here we go. I'll drive it. But just
Big Love, that sound like you.
Yeah,
that sound like
you know, it's very difficult though. Just to answer the other part of your question, it's very difficult because now I have to put on the CEO hat, and then I switch it over to the artist hat, and know the differentiation between, you know, both of them, and which is why I'm glad that I have my name back, so it keeps me grounded, because I know that Perryman, that's my dad. You know, I'm giving everything that he would have wanted. You know what I'm saying, in his artistry, and then I'm Dr. Perryman when I do have 5 PhDs.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
You know, so I took a little time.
Let me ask you this: being on both ends of the stick, artist, and then owning your own label, what advice could you give an artist that says, you know, the labels are always trying to stick them in the back and, you know, not take care of them, when now I know you have the understanding, like, okay, well, a label puts so much into an artist that they might not look at that and take that for granted. Like, what advice would you give them on a situation like that?
Up and coming artists, I would say, number one, learn your craft. Like, you know, you Beyonce had it wrong. You didn't just wake up like this. Don't think you're gonna be, I love you, B. You know, I'm gonna be Harvard, but stop telling me folks they woke up like that. They didn't wake up like that. None of y'all woke up like that. The crud in your eyes, that stuff got to be washed out. Grandma said, get you a towel and wipe your face. No, how it equates to the music industry is you gotta come in with your eyes open. You can't be asleep. You gotta be woke. So that means you gotta learn your craft, right? You gotta learn what copyrights are. You gotta learn how to deal with producers and pick the right one. Get you a team formulated, and all of this, because you are a entrepreneur / business owner. You know, now the majors don't even want you coming in. They won't even sign you to a deal if you're not LLC. And folks don't know that. They think, oh, I'm on MTV, so this is how it is. I flash all this money and I go from 0 to 100. Nothing in this world is like that. You can't get a job at McDonald's and not go through processing.
Yeah, they're gonna go from 100 to 0.
That piece. Yeah, you got called me. I'm the manager at McDonald's. He's a crew shift. You know, no, you got to earn your way up. And with a lot of young people, you know, get some nuggets out to them. You guys, you know what I'm saying? I came from the old school where when I was 5 years old, I was, you know, going to South in Mississippi chopping cotton. You know what I'm saying? Not many people my age even has that experience. But what Granddaddy taught us, he's taught us the value of hard work. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could, anything that we wanted to do that was fun, he put a work quotient. Like, we're like, Granddad, we want to build some houses like the Little Rascals and put it in the tree. He's like, all right, there's the timber over there, there's the nails over there. You draw your thing out, what you want to do, put it together, and then at the end of the week, I want to see progress. And we're like,
I'm gonna supervise y'all doing it.
That's right. How did this become work?
Right.
It's supposed to be fun. But the man taught us the value of hard work. Anything you can do, you can do it. Put your mind to it. But there's a process. Learn how to. You want to be a nurse? There's a, you know, get your prerequisites out of the way. You know, go to school, learn. You know what I'm saying, and make sure it's what you want to do. A lot of people, you know, I keep saying, young people, like, if you're in this business, build your mama house, you're on the wrong path. Go to college, get your degree, work in some regular field, buy your mama house, if that's just what you want to do. Come into this business, you know, with the idea, I want to add something. That's why we have the Grammys and all of these special awards for people of excellence who take their genre to a next level. And I think we're not, you know, everybody's focused on the money and the gold and the cars and the girls, and they forget that you are affecting a culture. You know, you got big pants to fill. You know, you and whether you want to believe this or not, but what you do affects everybody when you are a muse, because what we are given is God-given gifts. There's people that can't sing, wish they could, and you got it, and you're perverting it in a way that's not bringing positivity to the genre, and I'm saying you can write about everything. That's what we do. We create the environment. We talk about being in the hood, but don't make that your only, the only thing you're bringing to the genre. You know what I'm saying? Like, have something, as Jill Scott would say, have something to offer. Bring it to their genre, whatever it is. Be real with it, but have something to offer. Don't mimic people, because then you're just a knockoff. Be real, be who you are, and when you're bringing your art, bring it authentically, organically, and with all your heart, soul, and mind, because it's what you were born to do.
One thing I love about you as an artist, like I hear so many different styles. Like I actually hear rap, like Chicago,
Yep.
like that Chicago, you know what I'm saying, style. I hear the R&B, you know what I'm saying? You can hear the gospel, the country in you, like everything balled up in one, man. And that's dope for you to just listen and hear it. Oh, I can tell you from Chicago. I could tell he, you know what I'm saying, got roots down south. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's
like
dope.
the single Pull Up on Me, and
I like that one too.
It's gospel rap. It's really what it was, because I didn't want to do a gospel song where I'm like preachy or whatever gospel, because it's time and place for everything. But I wanted to reach out to a different audience, to because the song talks about because God is the gangster, and he was like, pull up on me, like I'm bigger than your mother. I'm you know what I'm saying. It's like, Gabriel, go get that one there, right?
That was a slick song right there.
Man, that came in the middle at 4 a.m. in the morning. And I was really praying, and I was like, God, how can I affect, that's why I was saying, bring something, have something to bring to the table. How can I affect people in a different way, where I'm not coming at them as preaching to them. I'm coming to them, encouraging them, and giving them some hope in their current state, wherever they are. And then the lyric just started flowing. And it was literally like what's the movie? 5 Heartbeats. When he was writing, I'm writing on toilet paper and everything.
Yeah.
Pull up on me, pull up on me. Okay, I got
it.
And when songs come in, and anybody that's a musician notice that it's a get it or lose it.
Yep, you got to get it right then and
right
there.
There. Music, you know that. You know what I'm saying? And that's rap lyrics, anything. Man, I had this slide, verse, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Gone. Yeah.
The universe is just gonna give you so much, but how bad do you want it? You know what I'm saying? And every hit record was made like that. Every hit record really had a epiphany behind it, or whatever. Had some kind of wow. Like the Temptations movie, and the guy was like,
my favorite movie.
How you gonna make the lyric like that? I lost my dad.
Right.
Favorite movie.
And he was like, use it. There you go. You know what I'm saying? And it's the biggest hit, he had. So music is like that. And I even had with Chris, going back to him, when I started working, he was like, I was out of the industry because I had taken a hiatus. Doing other stuff, getting degrees and being normal kind of thing. And I forgot to mention this. This was my motivation to come back into when I started hearing the top 10 on radio and what people were playing. I was like, where's the variety? It's like, it's like R&B writers just stop writing. Like they stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Babyface, I need another record from you. And everybody's just like, yeah, hip hop is coming in, but we have to go flow. We're gonna sample everything. So why are we sampling? We got writers when we got musicians that can create it from scratch. And that's not what we do as muses. Call it Muse Challenge.
True.
Tank, I hope you're listening. You know what I'm saying? Tyrese, y'all are musicians. Start writing more. Bring writing back to the thing. You know what I'm saying? And young ladies, you're queens. Respect yourself. Don't just take any song. Respect
why I think why I think the producers, they don't like be original anymore like that is because the software makes it so easy nowadays. Technology just taking over and everything's watered down.
Yeah. Now, if you know how to use the technology towards your man, because I rather enjoy not repeating a line 70 million times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it cuts the time, but I think they used it wrong. Like, you know, and I take T-Pain kind of testified to that. You know, he was like, when Usher told him, you kind of destroy music, and he's like, ooh, you know, that's awful. Much when he's a real singer. The guy can, you know, really write and sing. But you know, to bear that responsibility, because then he got it. Like, I'm a muse. I create. You know, this isn't just about the money, cars, and gold. You know, I affect the whole industry when I present stuff, and when everybody pick up on it, the young people, you know, they don't investigate to find out where it came from, how it's supposed to be used. It was supposed to be used for people who can sing, you know, to kind of correct pitch, kind of bring you back on, you know, because that's when the industry was doing the look thing versus the talent thing. You know, if you
image.
There we go. If you're Mark Watts can testify to this, golden voice, but I can't get a whole, you know, forefront record. They don't want me on the cover because I'm a big girl. Big up to Lizzo, who took that mantra and said, "No, that doesn't matter." You know, I don't care. You know, I'm playing the fruit and I'm rapping and I'm that stuff. That's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Big up. I'm a big fan of Lizzo.
A lot of Milli Vanillis out here.
Yeah, peace. Like, man, everybody. And then you talk to artists, and you talk to artists, and they're the greatest thing since putting pie. But I'm like, dude, that's only 10% of this whole business. Like, you know, we can make you sing, you know, because you got out of it. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? There's so many mechanisms, technology-wise. So, how about you do what Pharrell's doing and actually go into the studio, use the technology that's available to create new and innovative projects that take you outside the box. You know, I think that's if Michael Jackson was alive today, because he was a connoisseur of new up and coming artists, you know, like new things, because he understood that music is evolutionary. It evolves to what it's supposed to be because we evolve as human beings. Like the hairstyle, we ain't wearing the same hairstyle we wore in the 70s. No. Just saying, styles come back because I got bell bottoms back.
Oh,
bring that back with the high steps.
I just bought some bell bottoms yesterday.
But the young kids, they just think it's fly. They don't even know that we're recycling the 70s.
Yeah.
We was already doing that. So.
Absolutely.
You know, so and we have fun doing it. So you can bring it back. Styles don't go away, but have something again to offer. Bring it back. Bring realism back into your music. Bring feeling back in your music. You know what I mean? If you're gonna write a song about, you know, Chicago, and what really goes on in the hood, make it live. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big Tupac Shakur fan as far as hip hop. There you go, man. Because who knows if Tupac lived or not? But when he opened his mouth on the tape,
he made you believe he did.
It was over, yeah.
It
was over.
It's like he was like reading a good book where you can picture what's happening.
Word for word.
What happened to that?
Yeah.
Calm, take your pill and come back to
reality.
Calm that down a little bit. You know, I give me some variety. You know, we're human beings out here. You know what I'm saying? We understand the struggle, but do it artfully. You're an artist. You know, do it artfully. Everything shouldn't be 0 to 100 on the record. You know what I'm saying? I know you, because you guys hear it.
But that's exactly why I fan over Big Lo's music, because it is some good music and it's authentic. You know, the beats is in there. You know, back in the day, we loved the beats as well, not just the lyrics of the music,
but the music.
You know, you had to you felt the entire song from beginning to end. So yeah,
that piece. I was saying, how many hip hop artists today have like a love ballad like Todd back in the day, LL Cool J? I need love.
Big love.
I know I'm gonna get a red hand. See, that's what I'm talking about. And then I keep saying that whoever comes up with that concept in today, because they ain't the young people, that's a whole audience that has not heard this. They don't know this because all they're hearing is 0 from 100. So they don't know that you can do a love song. You know, first of all, a lot of men have been in love. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. So here I am.
They're scared to admit it. I don't know why.
Right, right. But but it goes back to what I said. Artists, we stopped writing. We stopped writing about love. We start singing about it. And it became, I don't know, compete for whatever is popular. Yeah. And we forgot that we were in charge of whatever's popular. We have to bring that to the forefront. Some people fought with A&R to bring that record. Back a whole lot of artists, that great songs came out.
That give me another question. Like when you spoke about the algorithms and stuff. Mm-hmm. So from my knowledge, that really controls the masses right now. Like that controls what's getting heard on the radio, on the, Yeah. And how do you overcome that obstacle?
By keeping it real. Now artists are and producers are finding out that because there's so much competition with indie, and because the indies make just as much money as major artists now, and the industry's like bedazzled because they're like, oh, we don't control all the money anymore. No, the people do, and they've always, because we as muses, we create culture, we create the vibe. People saying I'm a whole vibe. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you're an artist, you're a whole vibe, and you create. And here's my underscore: you're responsible for that vibe too. You're responsible for it. When T-Pain woke up and found, man, I'm responsible for a whole, bunch of people thinking that autotunes is supposed to be the whole song. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, and you can't correct it unless you have real musicians that are coming back to the forefront, doing things like Big Loke's doing, and like I'm doing, and like now artists are coming back to the forefront and fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? Give people variety. They're the ones in the algorithms. They're not just numbers. They're clicking on that song because it's a donut hole in here, and I'm trying to feel something. This is a soundtrack of my life. They're hot fans that become your fans because you wrote the song of, I would die for you was that's the soundtrack. Prince wrote the whole soundtrack. What I'm saying? My grandmother we had a Halloween thing going on, and I was dressed as Prince. She was like, I'm like, oh, this is what's in. Like, that was the soundtrack of my life. Man, Dove's Big Dog, that album came out, I was like, he on something. So yeah.
Speaking of that, like your song "Waiting on You" is on repeat for me.
Yes,
it's on repeat for me. Like even the video, I just watch it over and over and over and over again. Like it's such
it has something to offer.
It's such a, I don't know. It's just related to me. Like, and it
because
put me in a better space.
We wait on God for everything, really. And because when we puzzled in our minds, we're all at this crossroads. Interesting, actually, that bring that up because my dad and my mom was from Clarksdale, Mississippi, which is where blues was born, actually, not Memphis, Tennessee. Correct that. Memphis was where they went for Sun Records so they could actually make a record because there was no record labels in Clarksdale. But Clarksdale was where the crossroads were, and it was believed that if you start, the people would go and offer their souls to the devil to be able to do blues music or whatever, and that was a whole way of getting out of the ghetto, or getting out of dire poverty, And I want to introduce this concept because people don't know that soul music was not called soul music in the Delta. It was called soul music because people didn't have no money and didn't have no shoes. They would go to the clubs barefoot, and the soles of their feet would be tapping and stumping or whatever. That'll get on record in chipping circuit.
Wow.
So, let me dive down there. My daddy put me on to that. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, soul music is from not having anything.
That's wild.
But shoot. So you can't
educate us, honey, because I didn't know that.
So now when you play that soul record and you understand what R&B soul is, you understand that it comes from an area where when people didn't have anything but music, and music saved lives. Music rose people up out of poverty. All of that, was because of the culture. So I'm saying to the hip hoppers and the young folk today, listen, know from whence it came. This is why you learn about your craft. When I said learn it from the rooter to the shooter. Learn, how James Brown affected hip hop. Learn the rhythms, where they came from. Learn how hip hop started, in New York. with urban, kids and whatever, in the ghettos and whatnot, learn what it was all about. Some of people, it saved their lives because it was a way out of the crack epidemic, and and all the gangs that were happening there. It was their sole way out, and so they just kept on the mantra of it. But a lot of that with Eric Sermon, Bobada, Curtis Blow, all of these guys that started, you know what I mean, early hip hop, and so many of them.
The good old days.
The good old days. Nobody was beefing. Nobody was shooting each other up. Like, where did this come from?
Yes.
They actually rapped it out, like, rap it out, like
that piece, man. You know what I'm saying? It was never. What kills me is like, you're a millionaire rapper and you're having beef on the street with people. Where is that? What sense is that? Y'all stop that. Stop that. You're influencing a whole culture. You are responsible for what you put out.
That is true.
You are responsible, whether it's negatively or positively, negatively or positively. I hate that, to see that with young guys that are, you're coming in a whole industry. You're out of poverty because, so you use the vehicle and then you go back and start doing street stuff. Like, I thought the whole purpose was to get out of the street, to go back, and maybe we need to refocus that, go back and help your brothers then to come up, what I'm saying, instead of flashing your money, because, they ain't got it, give back to the community. Who was that? One of the artists that was giving back in Philly, the guy with the dreads, I'm big on names, but he was feeding the homeless and going back and paying people's electric bills and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Give back to your community. Build Chicago back up. We know we need it. We need it. But you're going flashing this and that and doing crazy stuff around the world. Like, come on, if you're giving that platform, it's a blessing for you to have that platform. So bless the people back with knowledge. Bless the people back with finances. Get you some low-income houses and stuff, and teach the people while you're doing it how to go out and prepare themselves for jobs and whatnot. It'll make the mayor's job a little easier, make the police job a little easier, and it'll make all of us, our jobs, a little easier, because now we're not relying on anybody to help us but ourselves. We're putting our own selves up our bootstraps.
I see Jay-Z and Will Smith, they actually doing something like that.
That's correct. And here in Atlanta, Bishop T.D. Jakes and Tyler Perry have teamed up to create the Black Wall Street. They've already opened Black Wall Street, but now they're doing.
Oh wow! Move to Atlanta.
We got to start this same thing in Chicago, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's do it. Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? That I've embarked on this journey, not to get rich, but to give back, because underscore, at the end of the day, it's all about ministry for me. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, I'm like, God, you know what I'm saying? The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. So, grant me this so I can give a new platform. If you don't know what a lot of these guys, they don't know what they, like the book Great Gatsby, they don't know how to be rich and give back. You know what I'm saying? They just, I'm out the hood now, I'm gonna party and turn up. Like, it's more life than just partying and turn up. You know what I'm saying? You're out, but look at from whence you came. There were some good people still in the ghetto. There's some people that believed in you. What do you leave them there and you don't do anything to go back and give back to your community?
Like something wrong now.
Something wrong there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we celebrate, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? We celebrate a young man who got shot and killed, murdered, and that he gave back to his community. But how many more? If we squashed all that beefing with each other and we band together and start reinvesting in our own communities with that same energy, you know what I'm saying? You had little guys, in Memphis with Young Dolph crying, man, they got little Dolph. If you don't think that your art affects individual people, look at that little boy that didn't even know you was far, far, far away from your brand. Didn't know he knew your name. So we have a responsibility as muses and as our musicians and as people in general that have been blessed with something that's very different from any other person, to give that part of it back. And I think Prince was on that notion when Freddie Gray was murdered, and in the concerts that he gave, whatever, he was becoming very, very active in understanding that he had a responsibility with his gift, you know. And and so we can all band together and do that. You know what I'm saying? I think then we can go to the Grammys and hold our head up high because, you know, it wasn't all in vain, you know?
Absolutely.
And real quick, before we forget or whatever, man, please tell the people where they can find you, your music, and everything to deal with you, man. You gotta let them know.
Please, you guys, follow me on Instagram at Dr. ENINPERRYMAN. Enin Perryman, and that's the brand, and we're on all major platforms. Spotify, please check out the Spotify where you actually can hear the whole album. Technology boy, before the album comes out on July 22nd, 2022. Super excited about that offering. 15 songs and one bonus called Grown Folks. So it's something for everybody. It's baby making music. It's something, you know, that you can 20 Rock, you can take it and use it for your wedding. You can use it for picnics that's coming up in the summer, spring. Blackface, which is one of my favorites, written by Manny Bishop. That song is talking about we as Black people, we can't say Black Lives Matter if we don't love each other as Black people. You know what I'm saying? It's not right. I have to pick up myself first and to have everybody else to respect me in that corner. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Black lives do matter, but it has to matter to us first. You know what I'm saying? I can't pick up that mantra, and that's what that song it's about. It's a beautiful number on there. Pandemic, past, present, and future. Like I said, you can, and actually we have a pre-order as well that you can on Amazon.com. You can pre-order the album itself before it comes out, or you can just pick your favorite one. I like that better. It's the feet. Just go and put some greens on there.
They all good though. They all good. I'm
we from the era where we like the whole album. Like
that piece. Don't send y'all no EPs, huh?
Yeah.
Don't give me one.
I had to get on my artist
about the rest of the album trash. Like, nah, this one all the way through. You can listen to it all the way through.
Non-stop. Oh wow,
absolutely.
Man. That's what y'all ain't ready. This 20 song CD, I Am Enin Perryman. There's a sequel from that. I played my management just the music itself, and she was like, "I can't wait till you record it." Then I sent her the demos. She was like, I said, I told you, every time there's some major catastrophic event, the universe dumps a whole bunch of real, and you're entrusted with that platform. If this thing becomes bigger than Thriller, then I have a responsibility. Number one, to use this platform. Number one, so everybody is enlightened and taken up. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson's LOVE, yeah, that's love, because we have to love one another, and that's ministry. That's the greatest commandment. I have to love you through this pain. I have to love you through this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And going back to pandemic, past, present, and future, that person, maybe you found that person wasn't for you. You still gotta love them. You know what I'm saying? Man. But what happened in that house? I'll throw it up.
Definitely hot. Definitely hot.
I'm just saying, I keep it real. Like, Waiting on You is about real stuff. The video is about crystal meth addiction and opioid addiction. And these people meeting, connecting in relationships that help them out of it. To me, that's ministry. Because when you affect somebody's life for real, I don't want your money. You can buy the record, but let the record help you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't come to my church the other time. Because the gospel should be free to me. I am a living epistle. I walk and live and breathe this thing. This is why folks don't want to go to church no more. Because we've seen it being done, but we ain't seen it being lived. And that's the thing. You got to live. You got to walk the walk, and you got to talk the talk, and you got to live it. The way it is. And people look at what you do, not what you say. That kind of thing. So as a muse, I'm given a gift and a platform to be an example. You won't catch me holding big $20,000 up. If I got it, you probably gonna see it in a project somewhere where I'm blessing somebody, because that's where my head's at. Yeah. So when you Go ahead and download Pandemic Past Present on all those platforms. Just type in ENINPERRYMAN. It's going to come up a whole plethora of things. Make sure you go to YouTube to check out Love, Life, and Spirituality, the documentary, so that you can understand who this person is that's talking to you and giving you love, mad love.
Okay. Well, I tell you one thing, it's definitely a breath of fresh air to see your passion for it. Yes, outside of the dollar sign. So that's definitely refreshing. So we can appreciate that.
And I appreciate you for coming on the platform, blessing us with these jewels.
Yes, sir. Big love. I can't wait to hear it, brother. I'm like,
oh man. I'll send it to you through the YouTube or whatever. I got you. And I just want you to tell me your honest opinion. Honest. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't sugarcoat nothing.
You better ask my artist about me. Hey man, you be giving the hard love, but you be right though.
I need it though. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and let me throw this. Don't, young people, last nugget. Don't surround yourself with yes men. Don't surround yourself. You're artists. People that's telling you, "Oh, you're the greatest." Boo, 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 boo. That's the Hollywood stuff. Surround yourself with people that's gonna tell you the truth. Well, you know, this wasn't as hot as the last record you did. You know what I'm saying? But that other one, that joint, you need to keep that vein. You know, be open to the criticism, and people that are telling you, yeah, oh, it's the greatest. You know, Amy Winehouse would still be alive if she didn't have yes people around her.
You done spoke something.
Just saying.
You better speak it.
Just saying. Be around people that say
you
got a drug habit you need to get well first, and I'm gonna be right there with you. And if I don't get paid, you're gonna be okay. If you don't come back to the music industry until you're ready, you're gonna be okay.
That's the jewel of the night right there.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Man, we out, man. Appreciate you once again.
Thank you
Liz,
so much.
appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Chicago executives, everything, man. Everything. On that note, on that note, y'all, we out. Peace.
Peace.
I'll holla.
Radio, keeping you